Hey guys, it's Gigi. We're back in my kitchen. Gonna do another recipe together. So y'all come on in. As you can see, I have got my stand mixer out and I've got my baking apron on. So that means we're gonna be doing some baking today, okay? What we're gonna do today is some homemade cookies, and I am going to use a basic cookie recipe that I am going to alter, put in some things that I want in a cookie. And so y'all are just gonna have to go along with me and follow me. I'm gonna tell you step by step the ingredients because I'm following just a basic cookie recipe in one of my cookbooks that my husband bought me. But I'm gonna be adding some things to it, okay? So with no further ado, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to readjust my camera so you're not gonna see me. I'm gonna angle it down so that you can see exactly what I'm putting into my stand mixer and how I am putting these cookies together. So I'm gonna angle you down at my mixer, okay? Okay, first I'm just gonna go over quickly what we're gonna be using in our cookies today. I'm gonna be using, now the recipe doesn't call for this, but I'm gonna be using a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chip morsels. As you can see, I've already got those measured out in my 1 cup. Well, it's a heaping cup of chocolate chip morsels, and I am using the Lily's no sugar added sweet, semi-sweet chocolate baking chips, okay? Then we're also, the recipe calls for 1 cup of shortening, and what I'm gonna be using is 1 cup, this is Crisco, this is a butter Crisco, okay? So instead of 1 cup of shortening, I'm using 1 cup of butter flavored Crisco. I'm also gonna be using a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and a cup of white granulated sugar. I've got 2 eggs that I've had at room temperature beaten well. I've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour that we'll be mixing our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. I've also measured out 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Now remember, baking soda, not baking powder, okay? And then I have got a heaping cup of chopped pecans, just because that's what I want in them. And then this recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla, but I love anything caramel, so I am going to be using 2 teaspoons of my caramel flavor extract, okay? All right, so let's get with it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to put in our Crisco flavored butter. And to this, we're also going to be adding in our sugars. You know, I told you I have a half of a cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of granulated sugar. I'm going to plug in my stand mixer. And we're going to cream these together until they're light and fluffy. Starting off on low. We're going to stop it for just a second and scrape down those sides. because we want this all to be incorporated together. We're just trying to get it light and fluffy. And continue. Okay, let's go ahead and add in our 2 eggs that I have had at room temperature and they're beaten really well. We're gonna add our 2 eggs. Okay, let's continue. Okay, what we want to do now is we've got our 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and to this I'm going to be adding my salt and my baking soda. One teaspoon of each of those, and I want to just give that a good mix before I start adding it in, so that we can make sure that we've got the salt and the baking soda all. Okay. Now we're just going to start adding our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. I'm going to start out on low so that we don't get flour all over us. Let's stop that. Scrape down our sides. Get all that flour off the sides. And we will continue adding our dry ingredients. Just want to give those sides a scrape down several times throughout the mixing part, okay? Just don't want any clumps of flour in your cookie. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we've got all of our dry ingredients into our mixing bowl. Let's scrape down those sides one more time. That's looking nice and creamy. Okay, now that we've got our wet and our dry mixed really well together, let's start adding in our chips, our chocolate chips, our pecans. Let's go ahead and add our 2 teaspoons of caramel flavoring. 1. Oh, this smells so good. 2. Okay, let's put in about half of our chips, half of our pecans, and start mixing. Okay, let's push everything down off the sides one more time. Oh yes, that's looking good, guys, looking good. Just letting it get well mixed well together, and we're going to get ready to put it on our cookie sheets. Guys, we've got us a beautiful, perfectly creamy cookie batter, and it smells so good. That caramel flavoring, I think I could just about put it in anything and everything. I just love it. But I have got us a lightly greased cookie baking sheet, and I've got my oven preheated to 350. I'm taking a little scooper, and I'm just going to scoop out about, I'd say 2-inch, and you just drop them on the pan. And, you know, this just ensures that all of your cookies will come out to be about the same size so that they'll cook evenly. And you know, it's very important when you're baking to be as precise as you can with your measurements. And even when I was measuring out my flour and my salt and my baking soda, I used measurements, the exact measurements. I scooped out my spoon into my measuring cup and leveled it off so that I had exactly 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And what I'm going to do is, now, y'all know I changed the recipe up. I went just by a basic cookie recipe and added some things in it that I wanted. But I know the last time that I baked cookies, when my mother-in-law was here, we baked some chocolate chip cookies, and they baked really quick, a lot faster than what the recipe said, and almost burned on the bottom. So what I've done, and I'm going to keep a very close eye on these, but what I've done is I have dialed my temperature back where the recipe says 375. I've got my oven on 350. But even at that, I'm still going to keep a very close eye on them. And I'm only, as you can see, this is going to yield a lot more than what I'm putting on this pan. But I want to do one pan. If I'm going to ruin any cookies or overbake these cookies, I'd rather just ruin one pan than 2. But I mean, I'll let you know. I'm gonna keep them. I'm gonna keep a close eye on them. I'm gonna put them in the oven, and I'll come back and I'll let you know exactly. In my gas stove, it just tends to cook higher and quicker. So I will let you know exactly how long they baked at that temperature, okay? All right, we'll be back. And the recipe says to bake at 375 for 10 to 12 minutes, but I'm baking at 350, and I'm gonna start checking them at 8 minutes, okay? Okay, guys, our cookies are done. Let me tell you, I did the right thing by dropping my temperature down to 350 instead of 375. Now you'll have to adjust your oven accordingly. I just know from past experience that mine cooks a little bit hotter and quicker. So instead of 10 to 12 minutes, I did mine somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes. Probably around that 9-minute mark, I was pulling them out. And I dropped my oven temperature down from 375 to 350. Worked out perfect, guys. Look at these cookies. Look at these cookies. Now these cookies are crispy around the edge, light and chewy in the middle, and that's the way that I love them. I don't like a totally hard, crunchy cookie. I like for it to be soft, and do y'all see? Look how soft that cookie is. But it's crispy, crunchy around the edges, not overcooked, perfectly cooked, okay? So y'all know that we can't have cookies without milk, and we can't have cookies and milk without dunking our cookies. That's just the way that we roll, okay? So I've poured us up some milk, and we're gonna give them a try. They smell so good. I've got another on a cooling rack right here. I'm about to pull another one out of the oven, and this recipe yielded 36 cookies. Yeah, I did three sheets of 12. So we've got 36 cookies out of that batch. And now the moment of truth. They smell so good. I just think I made a perfect choice of using that caramel flavoring over the vanilla. And I added pecans and chocolate chips. Oh my goodness. You hear a crunch when I bite into it, and it's chewy. Crunchy and chewy all at the same time. Perfect cookie. So good. It's thin. It's not a thick, doughy-like cookie, like a cake batter cookie. It is thin and crispy. And now what I did is I made the scoops a little bit smaller on the second batch because these turned out to be some pretty big cookies. Oh my God. Look at them cookies. Look at them cookies. Let those cool just a second. And these have cooled down enough that I can move them over to our platter. Y'all know where these are gonna go. Well, my new followers, let me introduce y'all. My followers that have been with me, they've already met Mr. Piggy. Mr. Piggy is my cookie jar that I try to keep filled with cookies for my husband and my grandbabies. And we are going to be filling his belly full of chocolate chip pecan cookies today. But these have cooled enough. Well, I think I'm gonna let them cool just a little bit more. These have been cooling These are completely cool. These have been cooling for a minute. Those are hot, fresh out of the oven. So when they're all completely cooled, I will fill up my cookie jar. And he will be a happy pig. Okay? Well, listen, I'm going to close because I feel like I've kept you long enough baking these cookies. But guys, make you some. Make you some cookies. These are delicious. If you like a light, crunchy type cookie, but still soft in the middle, you'll love these cookies. Great flavor. Now, if you don't like the caramel flavoring, by all means, use vanilla. Work perfectly fine. I just love anything caramel. Y'all know that about me. I love caramel. And so I just decided I'm going to try, or normally when I'm baking cookies, I'll use, the vanilla. So I said, today I'm going to just change things up and use my caramel flavoring. And I'm glad that I did. It's delicious. Listen, can I encourage you to be the hands and feet of Jesus? Be his mouthpiece. Show somebody some love and kindness today. You won't have to look very far to find somebody who stands in need. Bake them some cookies and go deliver them. Somebody who's sick, or if you've got a family get-together coming up, or you just want to be kind, or shout out to my baby girl. Today is her birthday, and I wish she was close enough I'd go run over there and take her some cookies. But I have talked to her, and I sent her a gift and everything. So I know she's enjoying her day. She's out doing some of her favorite things she wanted to do today. But happy birthday, baby girl. But listen, maybe you know somebody who's had a birthday, or just, like I said, just stands in need of encouragement. Let God use you today to be his hands and feet. Okay? All right, I love you guys. I'm going to close by saying I'll see you back again real soon in Gigi's kitchen. We'll cook up another recipe together. Bye, guys.